So now this is the question, like number one. If three consecutive terms of a GP with common ratio r, where r is greater than 1, are the lengths of the sides of a triangle, and floor function, so this function you see here is called floor function, floor. So where the floor function r denotes the greatest integer less than or equal to r, so we should evaluate 3 floor function r plus floor function minus r. So let's start with the consecutive terms of the GP. So I can say let the consecutive terms of the GP be a a ar and ar square. So take notes, if you are doing consecutive term of GP, you can use ar square or a over r ar. So but I'll go with this because of the triangle involved, so though you can use anyone. So now these are the 3 consecutive terms of the GP. Let the 3 consecutive terms of the GP be that. So let's say we have a triangle. Let's say we have a triangle now. So call the length will be anyhow, like let's say this is ar square. So according to the question, if 3 successive terms of a GP with common ratio r are the lengths of a triangle, so I assume the triangle to be this. So the 3 consecutive terms are the lengths of a triangle. So and r, that floor function denote the greatest integer less than or equals to r. So now how can we start this solution? We are going to use triangle inequalities. So again, we are going to use triangle inequalities. So triangle inequality states that two sides, the sum of two sides of a triangle should be greater than the third side. Let me use number to illustrate. If you have a triangle like this, if this side is 3, if this side is 3, here is 4 and here is 5. Now for any triangle to be formed with a certain number, sum of two sides must be greater than the third side. Now this triangle is 3, 4, 5. Now we can form triangle with sides 3 and 4 to produce 5. Why? Because 3 plus 4, sum of these two sides is greater than this, is greater than 5. So that's what triangle inequality states. So if you choose 4 and 5, like let's say 4 plus 5, you will see that this is greater than 3. As in, so if the sum of any two sides is greater than the third side, then you can form a triangle. So that's what the triangle inequality states. Look at something like this. Can you form triangle with 1, 2, 7? So that means if the first length is 1, second length is 2, so this is less than the third side, you can't form triangle with this kind of number. So triangular states that the sum of a triangle inequality, the sum of two sides must be greater than the third side. Take note. So I will apply that now. So if sum of two sides is less, then you can't form it. But here, these are consecutive terms of a GP where a is less than ar and ar is less than ar square. So because this is smaller than this, and this is smaller than this. So that's why we call it consecutive terms of a GP. So according to what I did. So now, according to triangle inequalities, the sum of two sides, let's say A plus AR, must be greater than the third side. If the sum of the two sides are less than the third side, then you can't form triangle. So now, the sum of this and this must be greater than the third side. So that is triangle inequality. So this is where we start our solution. So let me start from there. So I have A plus AR is greater than AR square. So now A is common here. So I'll have 1 plus R. So it's greater than AR square. That is, if A is common, it will remain 1 here. So A is common. So that means you should divide the rest by A. So A cancel A, that is 1. A cancel A, it remains R. So that's the technique. So now, you can divide both sides by A. Since A must be greater than 0, yeah. So divide both sides by A. So we have 1 plus R is greater than AR square over A. So we have 1 plus R is greater than R square. Like that. So now rearrange to form quadratic equation. So let me show you something. Take everything to the other side. So I will not have anything here. 0 is greater than R square minus R minus 1. That is, I'm moving this to the other side. These two to the other side. Remember, if any sign cross equality sign or inequality sign, this sign will change. If it is plus here, then it turns to minus the other side. So if 0 is greater than this, it also means R square minus R minus 1 is less than 0. So if 0 is greater than this, then all this will be less than 0. As in, if 0 is greater than this, it means this is less than 0. So that is a quadratic inequalities that we are going to solve now. So I have R square minus R minus 1 less than 0. So I'll use formula method here to solve these quadratic inequalities. So because I cannot factorize this, so we use formula method. So let me take this out first, the inequalities. So let me change the less than to equals to. Let's say R square minus R minus 1 is equal to 0. So here A is equals to 1, like I want to use formula method. B is equals to minus 1, any number you have here again, that is minus 1. C is equals to minus 1. So we have the formula R is equals to minus B plus or minus square root of B square minus 4AC everything over 2A. Now substitute. So we have R is equals to minus, so what is our B? Minus 1. So that will be minus 1 plus or minus square root of B square, that's minus 1 square minus 4A 1 C minus 1. Let me write that side. R is minus 1 plus or minus square root of, because this minus is this minus, b is minus 1, square root of b square, that's minus 1 square, minus 4ac, everything over 2a. So we have r is equals to minus times minus plus, that is 1 plus or minus square root of 1 plus 4, that is minus 1 square is 1, so minus times minus is plus, and 4 times 1 is 4, everything over 2, that is 2 times 1. So r is equals to 1 plus or minus square root of 5 over 2, like that. So I can split this to be r equals 1 plus root 5 over 2, or r is equals to 1 minus root 5 over 2. So r is equals to 1 plus root 5 over 2. So you can, let me get it in decimal for you to see. 1 plus root 5 over 2, that is 1.6180, or r is equals to 1 minus root 5 over 2, that is minus 0.61, as in it's 0, like that. Now, but if you notice, the question says where r is greater than 1, so that means we are going to ignore this because this is less than 1. We are going to consider this 1.6180, so we'll consider that as r. So since it's inequalities we are trying to solve, so I can put this in range. Actually, for the real inequalities, it means the answer will be 1 is less than or equals r, and r is less than or equals to 1 point, let me put the number 1.6180, like that. So this should be the answer for the inequalities, but we don't actually need all the solutions. So the solution we need there is r is greater than 1, and we can see that the number that is greater than 1 here is 1.618. So now, what is the floor of r? So floor of r means floor of minus 1, floor of r. Remember, what we want to find is 3 floor r plus floor minus r, as in that's what we want to find. But now we have known our r, so let me conclude on the r. So the way I show it in the formula method, the r is 1.6180. we'll consider this because it is greater than 1 according to the question. The other answer is minus 0. So and that answer is less than 1, as in the other answer is minus 0.6180. Because of this, the number is less than 1, so we ignore it. So I only pick this one, so take note as the answer for r. So but what is now the floor of r? So floor here, if you look at it, it says where r is greater than 1 are the lengths of the sides of a triangle, and floor r denotes the greatest integer less than or equals to r. So floor function will tell us the number that is less than or equal to r. So r here is 1.6180. Since r is 1.6180, so the floor here will be 1. Why is it 1? Because 1.6 is bigger than 1. And the floor function here, this one denotes a number that is less than or equal to r. So the number that is less than this 1.6 immediate number is 1. So that's why you go with the lesser number to the number that is less. Don't approximate. So this is 1.6. The number that is less than 1.6 is 1. So immediate number. So the floor of r is 1. Now what is the floor of minus r? Floor of minus r simply means floor of minus 1.6180. That's the floor of minus r. So now take note, minus 1.6. The floor function for this cannot be minus 1. No. Remember, minus 1 is greater than minus 1.6180 in negative. So our floor function is the number that is less. So the immediate number that is less than that function. So now the number that is less here will be minus 2. So here we can say 1 is less than this because it's a positive number. But if it is a negative number, minus 1 is not less than minus 1 point this if it is negative. So minus 1.618 is greater than minus is less than minus 1 in inequalities. Is less than minus 1 for negative. Take notes. For positive, 1.6180 is greater than 1. But for negative, minus 1.6180 is less than minus 1. So because minus 1 will be bigger than that, take note. So that is why we can't say the answer here is minus 1 as the floor. Because if we say minus 1, then it's bigger than this. So the floor of this will now be minus 2. Because minus 2 is less than this. So you go with immediate number that is less than what you have. So that is floor function. So let me use another illustration. Let's say you want to find floor function for 7 point. If it is ordinary number like this, because it's ordinary, is a whole number, the floor function is still 7. Is a whole number. But let's say even though it's 7.2100 as in, but because 7.2 is bigger than 7 is less than this, so 7 is still immediate number. So if you want to find the floor function of 5.671, so the floor function is 5 because 5 is less than this. But if it is negative number, the floor of minus 3.1 is minus 4 because it can be minus 3 because minus 3 is bigger than minus 3.1, so it will be minus 4, the immediate negative number. So now the floor of minus r is minus 2. So we can now evaluate 3 floor r plus floor minus r. So that will be 3 brackets 1 because floor R is 1 plus floor minus R is minus 2. So this will be 3 times 1, 3, plus times minus, minus. So 3 minus 2, 1. So the correct answer is 1. So we have solved. So the floor function is an integer that is less than, is a number that is less than or, so that is, you can see here, is the greatest integer less than or equal to R. So the number you pick for your floor should be the number that is less, immediate less. Take note. So that is the answer.